5-week ecom sellers. This is the print on demand challenge, day 47. I always do the reverse math. So today we are going to sort of indirectly wrap up some of the stuff that we were looking at when it comes to printing your products or printing your design on a specific product. And before we get any further, the first question I'm going to have is, okay, we started off on this journey with our schedule, and I know y'all don't want me to bring it up. I get it. I'm sure you don't want me to bring it up. But I'm going to bring up the schedule or the plan. So stage one of this journey, bring up my screen. Yeah, not muted. Okay, I'm not muted. Okay, good. Me and my computer have not been agreeing with each other. Okay, so stage one of this journey, we started off with talking about printables. Well, we talked about the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the long game. Over 60 days, the goal is for you to get comfortable with Canva, comfortable with Etsy, and comfortable with creating listings on a regular basis, and comfortable with a specific supplier. So that way, whatever you learn from that particular supplier or provider, you can apply that knowledge, and there will be some similarities as you move from supplier to supplier. Because you don't have to just stick with one, you can have multiples. So at the beginning of that journey, we kind of set the foundation for what is the long game for the next 60 days. What is your passion? What's your niche? And we went through that exercise of everyone identifying or deciding on what their passion or their niche was going to be, so that we could get to a place where products, we could produce print on demand or downloadable products. There was a number that was associated with that in that first week and 2 weeks, which is 5 print on demand products at a maximum for week 1 and 7 for a maximum of week 2. If you didn't get that done, it's okay. You still can continue working from where you are. If you happen to be on day 10, continue going forward from day 10 to day 11 and work with where you are. In stage 2, the next 2 weeks of the 60 days, we continued to work on printables and downloadables. We looked at the features inside of Canva. We also looked at some other tools, or mentioned the reference of other tools that you could be using to create designs. Just want to remind you, you still can, if you want to outsource it, if you want to do something elaborate, you can definitely outsource it to a graphic artist. Doesn't hurt. Maybe you decide over time that 70% of your designs you're going to create and 30% you're going to outsource, or you're going to buy them. You've got Creative Markets, you have Creative Fabrica, you have other tools where you can do designs like Spark and PicMonkey and Adobe. You have all of these other options in addition to Canva. So we talked about that. We also began the slow journey of talking about some of the print-on-demand suppliers that are out there. The goal for week 3 at that point, was a maximum of 7 designs. And we did look at some additional features within Canva that you could utilize if you wanted to. We continued to work on what the feature image needs to look like on Etsy, and then your secondary, third, fourth images as well. So I gave you week 4. I didn't give you a count number because I wanted to allow you that time to be able to catch up. So if you, at the end of stage 2, you would have potentially a maximum of 19 different designs up and running over a 4-week period. And that's not bad. That's actually good. If you were able to get your 19 done for week 1, 2, and 3, and you wanted to continue on, then you could have done another 7 for week 4, and that would have put you at 26. So now we're into week 3, or we're beyond week 3 at this point. And in week 3, I have no idea why I have an extra space there. Oh, it's not an extra space. Okay, so for week 3, we covered a lot of stuff. We continue to look at print-on-demand suppliers. We talked about pricing. We talked about the things that are important. Like, you really, once you decide on a print-on-demand supplier, get samples. You want to know and understand their processing times. If it's something that you feel like you're going to get some traction on because you know the niche very well and there's low competition, then you always want to get those samples. We talked about keywords and tags and doing keyword research. We talked about your images and the different ways in which you can create your images. We went through a couple of listings, and we created a couple of listings. We connected our store to our Etsy store to Printful. So we created a free Printful 2-week trial account, and we connected our store. We also talked about outsourcing and what things in your print-on-demand business that you could outsource. We did talk a little bit about marketing. We didn't get deep into, well, I think I did. I went through, maybe I didn't. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, or Google ads. I'm going to have to check to make sure that I went through that. If I didn't, we'll go through that this week. But marketing, and then also free marketing strategy. So the one thing I didn't talk about, and I'll make sure that when we do the recap in stage 4, that I'm going to talk about using Pingler and Ping Farm. That is a great way to get more organic traffic to your listings, getting good at the keyword research, also making sure that you're not just using one keyword, you're using a keyword phrase, which is considered in most cases a long tail keyword. So an example of that would be back to school, which is the exercise we did yesterday. It is a long tail keyword. The word back is not a keyword. School by itself is not typically a keyword. When people are looking for something, it is a specific thing about the school. Whether it is a elementary school, that's 2 words together, so that's considered a long tail keyword. Middle school, high school, in addition to our junior high, depending on where you're from. Like in the Midwest, ours was called junior high. It wasn't called middle school. And then high school, or back to school, or last day of school. Those are things that happen, or things that will occur, events, major events for some people. And so those are considered long tail keywords and how we could use that. We went through, I gave you some inexpensive keyword tools and some strategies. I gave you some free strategies, and I gave you some inexpensive ones. So you could decide whether or not you want to subscribe to any of them and use them to help you do your keyword research. And our goal was to now transition to taking our amazing designs and superimposing them onto a specific product. So in that search of looking for the product, which one makes the most sense for whatever the design is that you created for your specific niche, I left that up to you. I gave you some ideas and some suggestions, but I left that up to you. So that is week 5 and week 6. So at that point, if you stuck with the 19 before and you added, if you did the max for the 12, then, which is 5 and 7, then at that point, you would have 31. So you may or may not have 31 designs up right now. And if you did the stretch goal of the week 4 and added another 7, then you'd have 38 up right now. So we're into the home stretch of this journey. And we're now going to transition to books and KDP. And we've already gone over trademarks and copyright. We'll go over it again probably. I'll make sure that we have already covered marketing strategies and promotions. We've talked about multiples. We've talked about bundles. We've talked about a lot of stuff. So we're going to do a recap. I will tell you this. When I'm typically teaching, I cover all that in one fell swoop versus breaking it up. So this has been a little different for me to break it up, each one of them individually. But I want to see one of the biggest things that I kind of harped on was strategizing how to continue to run your print on demand business in the midst of everyday living, everyday life. So, our question comes back to, have you built your schedule? I asked that in stage one, asked in stage two, asked in stage three. If you haven't built your schedule, being able to sustain a print on demand business, you have to make time for it. So you got to figure out where those pockets of times are. And again, being able to run one on 1 to 2 hours a week, not a week, a day, is completely doable. It is sustainable. So I go back to the question, have you been able to complete your schedule? Have you built your schedule? Have you updated your schedule? Have you test driven your schedule? Do you need to modify your schedule? If not, this last leg of the journey, which it brings us back to the beginning. We're going to take our niche and we're going to figure out how to turn it into either A, a low content book, or B, a book, or could be C, a coloring book. But we're going to convert this into something that, again, will continue to get sales over time. So have you been able to work on your schedule? Have you built your schedule? Have you been test driving your schedule? Do you have questions about your schedule? Are there things you need to change? You need to tweak? Do you want to schedule some time with me to go over your schedule? So where are we in the schedule journey? Anyone want to unmute? I know it's optional.
I'm gonna unmute. I'm still working on it, and I think I'm gonna change it as of this week, and it may work better for me.
Okay, I'm excited. I did give everybody. I shared this in the chat. I thought I emailed it. I'll double check. I literally, but one of my VAs, her mom is in the hospital, so my schedule is way off. Because now I'm back to doing a couple of jobs with one hand. So it's a little crazy. But I'm glad to hear that you're tweaking your schedule, trying to make it work for you. Because at the end of the day, you have to find a schedule that works for you. So anyone else want to add to that?
I am working on a schedule this week of planning my days by the half hour.
Okay.
And so I can find those pockets in kind of a crazy schedule. This week and the next 2 weeks are very crazy with cleaning Airbnb. So I'm trying to find little pockets by scheduling, by doing a half hour daily schedule.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to talk about, I'm glad that you're continuing to pursue that. That I will tell you, that's where I see people sort of sometimes fall off because they've just kind of semi given up. And I don't want you to give up. I know this is a viable option. So I just hope that you continue to pursue that. So I'm going to create a quick grid on the fly. I don't know if it's going to be vertical or horizontal. We're about to see. But I do want to try to put together some targets as we talk about, your business and your sales and making money. So I don't know, again, what you're going to sell, but I'm just going to make up some stuff as we go along. This month is July. Let's just say in August, we pull it together. We're gotten a little bit more consistency. We're getting a little bit better. Our consistency's gone from 60% to 70%. We give ourselves credit for that. We always celebrate our successes, okay? And then October, November. I will say my hand is sort of going down. The swelling on my hand is going down some. So I have some mobility in my hand now, which is so good. All right. So the first thing, so thank you for the prayers. If you prayed for me, I truly appreciate it. All right. So let's say that you got a couple of printable products. 1, 2. You probably have more than a couple, but of those products that you created, let's say you created 40, and of those 40 products, 3 of them are really taking off. The others are getting some sales from time to time, but these three are really taking off. Okay. And I'm going to do 4 to 40. Okay. All right. And then this goes back to the conversation that we had about consistency and how consistency will help you over time. Because again, you don't have to sell on Etsy. You can sell on other platforms. You can create an Instagram shop, a Facebook shop. You can use Pinterest. You can decide what you want to do. Create clickable links on Pinterest. You can even sell on Amazon if you have an Amazon seller account. And if you have a merch account, you will be able to create some things on merch. There is a limited number of products that are available, unlike some of the other platforms or some of the other providers like Printful or Zazzle, where they have a lot of different options. Amazon merch is only going to have a few different products that you can sell. I'm not going to say that they don't sell, because they do. And Amazon, of course, is going to give merch more, what's the word that I'm looking for? Not presence, but, going to give it automatically, you're going to get more traffic if you're selling through merch. I'm just going to say that. So, especially if you are doing well, like you're going to continue to organically get more eyes on your listings, because Amazon will indirectly sort of help you. Sort of. All right. So we got some printable products. And then let's say you created maybe 40 t-shirt designs. And of those t-shirts designs, you have at least 3 of them that are just going bonkers. Like you're getting consistent sales, like maybe 5 sales a day. We're just going to go with that. So we're going to look at this. And then I don't know what your financial goal is, but we're going to talk about like, how do we get there? And then if you have a whole bunch of other shirts, we're going to say 3 through, we'll just stick with 40. Okay. So there's 3 that are really taking off, and then the others are doing okay. 4 through 40. Stay with that model. And then maybe you have some other, I don't know, water bottles, tennis shoes, leggings, canvas bags. You have other stuff. So I'm just going to say other 1, 2, and 3. Not that there aren't other products. I just don't want to go through the long list of, and you got purses, and you got watches, and we're just not going to go through the whole list. But I think you get the idea. There's so many print on demand. I mean, maybe you're selling basketballs. We saw the basketballs and the footballs. Okay, so let's say you got 40 of those. And then now we're going to talk about, maybe you've got an ebook, and maybe you've got a book that you've published. Okay. And maybe you've got a journal, and then maybe you've just got, I'm going to say general books. Maybe you're publishing a couple of books. And we're going to say that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 through, I don't know, 20. Okay. All right. So let's talk about your sales. So if your first one is doing pretty good, your first printable, and maybe you're not charging a lot of money, and it's okay. So let's say this particular printable, you're getting roughly about, oh, wow, there was space there. Let's say you're getting roughly, maybe you're making $3 off of it. Okay. And you're making $3 off of it, and you're selling 2 a day. And since you're selling 2 a day, there are, let me put a $ sign over there. Hold on. Bear with me. I know I don't type very fast right now. And there are 31 days in August. So if you're selling 2 a day, that's not bad. It's not a lot of money, but it is some money. And of course, you don't have to ship anything. So outside of paying the fees, and we don't have platform fees, so we'll put platform fees. Oh, because I put the $ sign, sorry. There we go. Times the sum of, let me change these columns to be dollars. That works better. Okay. And we're going to say platform fees. Now I'm just going to make up a flat number because we just need a flat number. Okay. But your platform fees are going to vary depending on where you're selling, how much traffic you're getting, how many sales you're getting. So I don't know what your platform fees are, so don't take this as gospel. I'm just making up a number for the purposes of this exercise, okay? All right, so in this example, this person's getting on their print-on-demand product, they're getting 2 sales a day, and 2 sales a day at $3. That's not bad. And so, you know, this one's getting a lot of traffic. We're going to say that this is happening for the first, roughly the first 2 products. So then the third product, maybe that third product is selling. I don't know why that did that. Okay. And the third, oh, me and this computer. What happens when you only work with one hand? Okay, so the third product at selling for the third product, maybe you're only selling one of those and you're selling that for $2. So you're not selling it for as much. So that's still some sales. I can just get my mouse to work. I don't know if I lost anybody. Okay, yeah, nope, we're still here. Okay, so schedule. So far, from a profit standpoint, if I could type, that would be fantastic. And I want you can use this because you have the spreadsheet now. For your projections. What month is this? November and December. So let's say your platform, your stuff has gone up. We're going to say it's 150. Only because, you know, Christmas. Okay. Because you put up more listings, maybe there's more fees, maybe you're selling on some other platforms, whatever. So your printables are not doing bad. And the rest of your printables, we're going to say that you're probably getting, you know, between printable number 4 and 40, we'll say that you're getting at a minimum, you know, one of those is selling, something is selling. So you're getting at least 2 sales a day off of the other 36 listings. Okay. So somewhere between 4 and 40, you're getting somewhere in there between 2 sales. So that means that a bunch of them aren't selling, and it's okay. I hope you see that. All right. Then we're getting into the t-shirts. So the t-shirts, again, depending on what you do and how you decide to run your business and your margins, let's go with this same premise. Actually, let me do this. And I'm going to change the numbers just a little because we're already there. So let's say the t-shirt number 1, you're selling, you've got 2 of them that you're selling every single day. Oh, September only has 30 days, Nicole. So 2 of them, this one you're selling 2 a day. And let's say that you're making $7. Okay. And we'll say that you're making $6 on this one. And on this one, we'll say that you're making $8. And the rest of these, we'll say that you're making $6. Okay, so those are your numbers because you got a whole bunch of print-on-demand shirt designs, but you know, you only have 3 that's really doing something every single day. The rest of them are random and sporadic, and they're doing whatever they're going to do. I just realized that 2 of my months are really 30. So just a second, let's reflect some closer estimates. Sorry about that. Not that it matters, but it doesn't matter, I guess. Okay, so now that we've got this, we can look down here. I'm clearly at this point, just in what I'm doing, I'm almost at $2,000 a month. Okay. That's probably not your goal number. Your goal number is probably somewhere between 5 and 10. But with repetition, with creating more listings, with consistency, this is what your life could get to on its own. All right. Your margins may vary. All right. So now that we have these numbers, And I'm not going to reflect the spike in sales in October or November or December. I'm just going to keep them the same. Typically, you would get maybe more sales. All right. So you got a shirt that's making 1 sale a day. People are in love with it, blah, blah, blah. All right. Now we've got this other stuff that we're selling. So we're selling whatever the other is, coffee mugs, whatever. So I'm going to take these because they're already there. And I'm going to carry it down. And the margins may not be as high or as nice. So I'm going to bring this down by $1. So instead of 7, I'm going to bring it down to 6. I'll bring this down to 5. I'll bring this down to 7. And I'm going to bring this down to 5. Okay. I'll do the same thing over here. As you can see, at this point, I'm over, $3,000 a month. I forgot what this was. I don't know what this number is. It's a 6. Okay. All right. I have to pay attention and not talk at the same time, clearly. Okay. 5. 7. And 5. Now, could these be your numbers? Yeah. Could the numbers be way better than this? Yeah. The numbers could be way better than this, or they could be less than this. This is just a mock-up. All it is. Okay. All right, so now we're clearly at $3,000 a month, and that's nice. Now we're going to go into the books. Now, book margins, depending on what you do, like if you're going to do a low content book, if you are doing an actual hard book like cookbooks, you can you can make more money. You got more ink and color that's going to be in those. So it's going to be more expensive to produce, but you can definitely make more money, especially if it's for a specific niche or something like that. There's coloring books, black and white with a color cover. Excuse me, there's ebooks. So books run the gamut. You literally could be selling an ebook or you make $5 and it's a flat amount. So if you use Designer, which was that app that I've mentioned before, that you could actually get for $27 total, you can create your own ebook and a flip book and don't have to pay anybody anything. Create your free MailChimp account. With MailChimp, you can have up to 2,000 subscribers without having to pay a monthly subscription. Attach when somebody buys something from you, so you can, there's some sites where you can create a free capture page, your own web page, sell your ebook, and every time somebody buys it, you can send them the email automatically through MailChimp and literally not pay anything. So it's 100% profit to you. Something to think about. That's just one strategy of many. If you sell your ebook on a platform, there's a couple different platforms. You're going to have different platform fees. So you have to decide, which one you want to go. And then your physical books, whether they be paperback, spiral bound, or hard, all of those are going to vary. So it's going to be a little tricky trying to figure out what the numbers are going to be on these books. So I'm going to go with some weird numbers just for the purposes of this exercise. This is not gospel because they vary, and you're going to find that out over the next couple of days. All right, so we're going to say that we're making a $5 royalty on this ebook. But our book, let's say we're making $12 on that. And, oops, $12 on that. Then the journal, let's say we're making $9 on that. And then some of the other stuff that we're selling, I don't know. I'll average it out to 11. Okay, so now you're at some different numbers. And this is just with being consistent. This is just with getting focused, running that schedule, tweaking the schedule, fine-tuning the schedule. Now you're at $5,000 a month in profit, clearly. You probably want to get closer to 10, but let's just look at how many products we created. So in this example, we created 40 products. In this example, we created 40 products. In this example, we created, 40 products. And in this example, we created 20 products. Now, the reality is you're probably going to have to create triple this number just to get here. Here it is. So, all right. So you'll really I'm in the wrong box, but anyway. 29, Nicole. Doesn't like the formula. There we go. So you may have to, depending on what it is, you're going to create, in this example, 40 printables. You may actually need to create 50 shirts and other stuff. You may have to create 200. I just don't want you to be, surprised by this just to get to the 5,000. Books and journals, 20 is reasonable. But again, that's over time. So maybe you have to create 25. So the point is that if you hustle hard and you go after it, and let's say you have 280 up, get to 5,000. Let's say that you go from 280 to 560. Now you're at $10,000 a month. The great thing about it is the ones that were already selling are potentially going to continue to sell to some extent. You may have to change the variation, meaning changing the color, changing the font color, changing the color of the shirt. If you're doing like a rainbow, and you've got, specific colors of the rainbow, you can change out some of those rows in the color to a completely different color, softer colors, spring colors, winter colors, fall colors, whatever it happens to be. But you're changing that to get to your number. It is completely doable if you focus. You decide, you know what? I'm going to create 5 designs every single day, no matter what. I'm going to strategize. Maybe I'm going to spend Sunday and Monday strategizing. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to work for 2 hours. I'm going to create 5 designs every single day. At the end of the week, I have 25 designs up, and you'll get to your number of 280 much faster. And ultimately, you'll find those sweet spots where you have those products that sell over and over and over again every single day. And the others will have a smattering of sales, like, oh, okay, might go for 4 weeks and no sale, and then finally, bam, 1 sale. So it's okay. You're not storing that inventory. You're not having to deal with warehouse fees. You're not having to deal with any of that. You just created the design and threw it up. So all of this is completely possible. Your store could be much bigger than this fake store that I just created on the fly. I want you to see that with consistency in building that schedule, you can get to whatever your target number is. Again, some of you, your target number is 3,000 a month. Some of you, your target number is 5, 10, 15. You could exceed that. You could exceed that. So if you did, right now we're at July. So let's just look at what your numbers for listings. So if you did for the month of August, 4 weeks. So think of the sum of 4 weeks times, if you did 5 listings a day, this is 5 listings a day. 5 listings a day for 5 days. That's 25 listings. At the end of a week, you'd have 100 listings. You don't need this to be in dollars. Number. Okay. So it's 100 listings. All right. It's not going to work for me. So at the end of, if you continue that path of being consistent, at the end of a year, you could have 500 listings. It's not bad. That's doing 5 listings a day. And this is 5 listings a day. 5. Ooh, y'all. That's a mercy. 5 listings a day for 5 days. Okay. What if you just did 3 listings a day, 5 days a week? Okay. What does that look like? So 3 listings a day for 5 weeks. Oh, I need the formula. So now that I have the formula, I needed the formula. So that's 15. Because 3 listings a day for 5 days is 15. Oh, yeah. Mercy, mercy, guys. I'm working with one hand. Okay, so as I go through this process of doing this, that's how many listings that you could have up by the end of the year just by being consistent. Just by being consistent and putting up 3 listings 5 days a week. Okay, so let's take it down even further. Because what I'm saying is you could get to this anywhere from 140 to 280 listings, and you could be at $5,000 a month. Okay, you can do 3 listings a day. You could be at $5,000 a month, possibly by the end of the year, depending on how good you do your keyword research, how good you do your titling, your tags, what your designs are, how well you know your avatar. You could be at those numbers. You have to get good at all of those things. Okay, not guaranteeing that you'll be there. I'm saying you could be there. Okay, so if we go with this and we say that it is, I'm just going to copy this whole row so I don't have to do the whole formula thing again. So this is just 5 listings. Okay, so 5 listings every single week for 4 weeks. That's 20. At the end of the month, at the end of the year, you could have 100 listings up. So if you were to carry that into the rest of next year, that could be a much bigger number. But the more you do it, the more frequently you do it, the more you focus on it, the faster you get at it. You have to commit time to it in order to get faster. It is the analogy that I've been talking about this whole time of learning how to ride a bike. The more you do it, the more you focus on it, the faster you're going to get at it. So what used to take you however much time to create a product, you could get to the place where you work 1 hour a day in your business instead of 2, because you've gotten so much faster at creating designs and throwing them up, and you're just consistent about it. I don't know what your target goal is. I have no idea what your target number is, how much money you want to make. You do want to find those products where you have good margins. You want to find suppliers where they have quality products and that you don't have a boatload of returns or weird things happening with the products that you are trying to sell. Like, oh, okay, the color fades, or the design wasn't printed on there right, or the color is green. Like, oh, that's not even the right color. It's supposed to be yellow. Or, because with printables, you don't have all those problems. With products, you do have those challenges you have to think about. And even with printing books, sometimes they're printing mass books, and so they don't always get to do a good job of cutting the book perfectly and binding the book perfectly and making sure that there isn't a shadow effect. Trust me, some of my planners had shadow effects, and I was like, come on. So yeah, stuff is going to happen. It's not going to be perfect, and you have to be prepared for that kind of stuff. Does this help anybody visualize or see their business differently now?
Actually, it does. It does. You know, every time you say 5 listings a day, I just like, oh my God, never gonna get there. But you know, when you break it down, and you have broke it down a couple of times, yeah, it does seem like something that you can actually do.
You just have to keep doing it in the midst of what you perceive is hard. In the midst of what you perceive is hard, because you're going to get faster. The better analogy is your first job. Whatever your first job was, whatever you got it as a teenager, in high school, or whether you got it right out of college. Like that first job, you were just like, I'm never going to get this job. I mean, it's too hard.
That's true.
It could have been something as simple as cooking fries at McDonald's. I'm just saying. I mean, my very, very, very first job out of the house was actually making pizzas for a Godfather's, which is crazy. And and I didn't think that I could do it. And they would be like, that's not enough sauce. You got to spread it out to the edges. Okay, that's not enough toppings. Okay, did you even weigh that? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too hard. And the more you do it, and like when you get a dinner rush or a lunch rush, the faster you get at it over time. But when you first do it, you're horrible at it, and it's okay. You're taking imperfect action, but you're being consistent about it, and then you will gradually get better at it. So I really do hope that you all use this to help you see what the potential is. Again, these are all fictitious numbers. I have no guarantees for you, but I will say, if you do get better at the keyword research, which is really not the keyword research, it's long tail keywords. If you get better at, creating your designs and knowing your avatar, you have the potential to make a lot of money. You got to understand, you want to stay away from things that are high competition. And, and you want to have your spin on it. So you have a lot of information, I know, in all these videos. I hope you use it. What questions can I answer? What questions can you tell me? I was looking for someone to say, yes, I got all, 38 done. I have no, I got 3. It's okay. If you got 3, we celebrate your 3. Wherever you are in this journey, we celebrate wherever you are. So just keep going. That's the thing. Don't stop. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. So what questions can I answer before we get off of here? Any?
You mentioned that app for $27 that one time.
Designer. Yep. If you go to the website,
It's just called Designer.
Yeah, it's not spelled like designer with an ER. It's spelled with an RR. And I think it's like designer.io. Yeah. And so the first time you visit their website, they got like crazy prices. But what happens is they got some crazy retargeting going on. And so they know that you've been to their website. See how this popped up? $27. Lifetime, no monthly payments. Did you see how that popped up?
Yeah.
And so if you were to click on pricing, it's clearly way more than 27, but you can get the standard, you can get the standard account for $27.
Okay, I would like to try to make a coloring book.
Now these are ebooks. These are all ebooks and flip books. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to make some books. That's what our stage 4 is about. So tomorrow we're going to get started on that journey of making books.
Okay.
But yeah, this is ebooks and flip books. That's what they make. And you can do PDFs as well, but that's what most of it is. Now you could design it 100% in Designer and use it to upload to KDP and some of the other platforms. So again, might be worth the $27. And then you can turn it into something else.
Good book. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, I hope this class has been a blessing to you guys. I pray that it has been. I pray that it's giving you a completely different perspective or a better perspective on print on demand. I know that we've had some hiccups in the journey, but I hope that it has been a blessing to you. You can okay. You can still schedule your 20-minute session with me even after this is over. We can sit down and go through your stuff. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, I am going to let you all go. I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.